Hello all, this is M. Sandeep Kumar and I welcome you all to my YouTube channel Concepts of IIT Maths. So in our today's video, we are going to look into the previous year questions of quadratic equations chapter in JEE Mains 2019. Right. So we have already seen in part 2, some of the questions were discussed already in part 2 from JEE Mains 2019. See, there are various papers. From each paper, one question will be given on quadratic equations. Okay, now so we have collected quadratic equations questions from all those papers of different shifts, and we are discussing it here. Already we have discussed it the first half of JEE Mains 2019 questions of quadratic equations in part 2, the previous video. So we are looking into the remaining questions in this present video. So you make sure that you are watching the video, you are listening the video till end, and if needed you can take notes also, right? So we'll start with our remaining questions of quadratic equations from JEE Mains 2019. So here is our question number 6. If one real root of the quadratic equation, real root of this quadratic equation is cube of the other, then a value of k is simple, dear students. He told that if one root is alpha, then the other root is alpha cube. So if one root is cube of the other, so that means alpha comma alpha cube are the roots of 81x square plus kx plus 256 equal to 0. He is asking what is the value of k, what can be the value of k. Observe one thing. Generally, whenever the roots are in the form alpha comma alpha power n, we will first go with product of the roots. That will be useful. So if I go for product of the roots, alpha into alpha cube is equal to c by a. Product of the roots is equal to c by a. So that means alpha power 4 is equal to, this can be written as 4 by 3 whole power 4. And one of the general mistakes what students will commit is that they will directly take alpha is equal to 4 by 3. Don't do that. So then what to do? Right, alpha power 4 minus 4 by 3 whole power 4 is equal to 0. And we know that a power 4 minus b power 4 can be written as a square minus b square into a square plus b square. So use this identity. So based on that, I'll write alpha square minus 4 by 3 whole square into alpha square plus 4 by 3 whole square. So the product of two quadratic factors, two quadratic polynomials. Of course, this cannot be equal to 0. Alpha square plus 4 by 3 whole square is always positive. So therefore, this cannot be 0, and so therefore this can be equal to 0. So that means that alpha square minus 4 by 3 whole square can be equal to 0. So next you can use a square minus b square formula. You will get a plus b into a minus b. So that means alpha plus 4 by 3 into alpha minus 4 by 3. So therefore the roots of these two is what? Alpha is equal to minus 4 by 3 or plus 4 by 3. The question is not about alpha. The question is actually about k. So the two possible values of alpha is minus 4 by 3 comma plus 4 by 3. So first let us see what if alpha is plus 4 by 3. So if alpha is equal to 4 by 3, observe, if alpha is equal to 4 by 3, alpha is a root of this quadratic equation, right? Alpha is a root of it. So in place of x, I can take 4 by 3. Substitute 81 into 4 by 3 whole square plus k into 4 by 3 plus 256 equal to 0. So 4 by 3 whole square is nothing but 9 by 16. 4 by 3 whole square is 9 by 6. Yes, 4 by 3 whole square is 16 by 9. Sorry, 16 by 9. So 9 ones are 9 nines are. 9 ones are 9 nines are. So 9 16s are is 144. 144 plus 256 is 400. If 400 goes right side, it will become minus 400. We are left out with k into 4 by 3. So therefore 4 ones are 400, sir. And if you cross multiply, I'll get k is equal to minus 300. Similarly, dear students, if you take alpha is equal to minus 4 by 3 and if you substitute in this equation, you'll get k is equal to 300 plus 300. Since I got k is equal to minus 300 when alpha is 4 by 3. Similarly, you take alpha is equal to minus 4 by 3 and substitute, you'll get k is equal to plus 300. But anyhow, he is asking any one value of k. So two options, two answers are correct. Minus 300 and also plus 300 is correct. But in options, we have only minus 300. You can continue, take alpha is equal to minus 4 by 3, solve it, you'll get k is equal to plus 300. But that option is not there here. So both are correct. Minus 300 is correct, plus 300 is also correct. Remember that. Okay, na? So the answer for this question is minus 300. Two answers are possible. K is equal to minus 300 and plus 300. Okay, we'll go with the next question. The next question: if lambda be the ratio of the roots of the quadratic equation, this is the quadratic equation. So they told that lambda is the ratio of the roots. Then the least value of m, for which lambda plus 1 by lambda is equal to 1. We are supposed to find the least value of m for which this is satisfied. So first of all, they told that lambda is the ratio of roots. So let the roots are alpha comma beta. The quadratic equation, for this quadratic equation, the roots are alpha comma beta. Then lambda is alpha divided by beta. So they have given that lambda plus 1 by lambda equal to 1. So lambda is alpha by beta plus 1 by lambda means beta by alpha equal to 1. So you can take LCM. Alpha square plus beta square divided by beta alpha, or we can write alpha beta equal to 1. Cross multiply. Alpha square plus beta square is equal to alpha beta. Continue. This is the concept under symmetric function of roots. In almost among two questions given in IIT JEE, one question uses symmetric function of the roots. Observe this. So LHS alpha square plus beta square can be written as alpha plus beta whole square minus 2 alpha beta equal to alpha beta. Take minus 2 alpha beta right side. So minus 2 alpha beta goes that side, plus 2 alpha beta, that means it becomes 3 alpha beta. Now use alpha plus beta means minus b by a. From the quadratic equation, minus b by a. So minus b means minus m into m minus 4 by a means 3m square. So minus b by a whole square is equal to 3 times alpha beta is c by a. C by a means 2 divided by 3m square. Okay, na? So 3 and 3 anyhow they will get cancelled, and then m and the square will get cancelled. Then give the square to the numerator and denominator. You will get m minus 4 whole square divided by 9m square is equal to 2 divided by m square. And observe that I can cancel out m square and m square in the denominator, because the m square cannot be equal to 0. It is a coefficient of x square now. It cannot be equal to 0. So I can cancel out m squares. Then cross multiply. So m minus 4 whole square is equal to 9 2s are 18. And if you take square right side, it will become root plus or minus root 18. Root 18 is 3 root 2. And take minus 4 right side, you will get 4 plus or minus 3 root 2. There are two possible values of m. It can be 4 minus 3 root 2 and it can be 4 plus 3 root 2. You cannot say that both values are accepted. No, observe the question. They are asking us to take the least value of m. So among these two, the least value is 4 minus 3 root 2 only. Na? So that is option 2. You might get confused. Observe, second and fourth option almost look same. Be careful. So it is 4 minus 3 root 2. The second option. So we'll go with the next question. Here is our next question. Let alpha and beta be the roots of this quadratic equation, where theta is between 0 and 45 degrees. Conditions are always important. Okay? When theta is between 0 and 45 degrees and alpha is less than beta. Remember the conditions. Then he is asking us to find the value of this. Summation from n is equal to 0 to infinity, alpha power n plus minus 1 power n by beta power n. So before finding the summation value, first of all let us go to this quadratic equation and check whether it is possible to find the roots or not. Of course it is clearly possible. X square sin theta minus x into sin theta cos theta. That means sin theta cos theta x. Next minus x into 1 is minus x and then plus cos theta. Now I can factorize by taking x sin theta common in the first two terms. You will get x minus cos theta, and by taking minus 1 common in the next two terms, you will get x minus cos theta. So therefore, you will get x minus cos theta into x sin theta minus 1 equal to 0. So therefore, who are the two roots? From the first one, x is equal to cos theta, and from the second one, x is equal to 1 by sin theta. See, I can't blindly take that this is alpha and this is beta, or this is alpha and this is beta, because they told that theta is between 0 and 45 degrees. And at the same time alpha is less than beta. So the smaller one is alpha and the bigger one is beta. And clearly we know that, so in between 0 and 45 degrees, For example, you take 30 degrees. For example, take theta is 30. So cos 30 degrees is how much? Root 3 by 2, correct? Root 3 is 1.732 by 2 is 0.866 approximately. 1 by sin theta is how much? 1 by sin 30, it is equal to 2, correct? So clearly cos theta is 0.866 and sin theta, 1 by sin theta is 2. So that means what? Cos theta must be taken as alpha and 1 by sin theta must be taken as beta, because they told that alpha is less than beta. So alpha is less than beta. So we have to take, so therefore alpha is equal to cos theta and beta is equal to 1 by sin theta. And now if you simply expand the summation, you will get your answer. So remember that alpha is cos theta and beta is 1 by sin theta. So now let us find this expansion. I'm erasing anyhow. We have found the roots now. Observe that summation can be separated for these two terms. It can be written as summation n is equal to 0 to infinity alpha power n plus summation n is equal to 0 to infinity minus 1 power n by beta power n. So this is nothing but alpha power 0 plus alpha power 1 plus alpha power 2 plus and so on up to infinite terms. And here if you observe, if n is even, here you will get plus 1, and if n is odd, here you will get minus 1. So what is it? When n is 0, you will get just minus 1 power 0 by beta power 0. Okay, now minus 1 power 0, let me write it. Minus 1 power 0 by beta power 0. Next, if n is equal to 1, minus 1 power 1 by beta power 1 plus n is equal to 2, so minus 1 power 2 by beta power 2 plus and so on again infinite terms. So this is sum of the terms in GB, and this is also sum of the terms one as it is. This is minus 1 into plus is minus, and minus square is plus. So this is a separate series, geometric series, and this is also a geometric series. The geometric series of infinite terms, geometric series of infinite terms. So we know that the sum of the terms in geometric progression is a by 1 minus r, particularly when the number of terms is infinity. Okay, now, and moreover mod of alpha is less than 1 only, right? Mod of alpha means cos theta, mod of cos theta is less than 1. So this can be written as a by 1 minus, the common ratio is alpha, and this is what? A by 1 minus the common ratio a2 by a1 is minus 1 by beta. So this I have written using what? The sum of infinite terms in GB. The formula is what? Sum of infinite terms in GB, a by 1 minus r, where r is the common ratio a2 by a1, second term divided by first term. So I have used that formula here and here. Okay. So now you can substitute alpha means cos theta and beta means 1 by sin theta. You'll get your answer. So what is it? So which is equal to 1 by 1 minus alpha is cos theta plus 1 by 1 minus into minus is plus 1 by beta means sin theta, correct? Beta is 1 by sin theta or 1 by beta is sin theta. So this is your option, dear students. So where is it? Clearly it is the second option, right? Second option. So I hope you have understood this. We will go for the next question. Our next question. The number of integrated values of m, the number of integral values of m. The number of integral values of m. This is important. How many integral values of m are possible for which this quadratic expression, where x belongs to r, okay, for which the quadratic expression is always positive. Is always positive. Very easy question. So if you have went through the concept of sign of quadratic expressions, this topic is certainly easy. The graph of quadratic expressions and the sign of quadratic expressions. So if you go through with those two topics, very easy. So if you have not yet been through the topic, you can go to the playlist of quadratic equations where you can find the topic of graph of quadratic expressions and sign of quadratic expressions. Anyhow, this is very easy itself. Let us consider the given quadratic expression as f of x. So let f of x is equal to 1 plus 2m into x square minus 2 into 1 plus 3m into x plus 4 into 1 plus m. He told that saying us that this f of x is always greater than 0 for all x belongs to R. And dear students, f of x means it is a parabola, correct? And that too, for all inputs, f of x must be greater than 0 means it must be an upward parabola. There is no other possibilities. Because if you take a downward parabola, then f of x cannot be greater than 0 for all inputs. It must be upward parabola. What is the meaning of it? If f of x is greater than 0, that means what? For all inputs, f of x must be above the x-axis. It is possible only when, number one, the coefficient of x square is the coefficient of x square is greater than 0, and number two, delta, that the discriminant is less than 0. Because there are no real roots, the graph f of x is not intersecting x-axis. These two conditions must be satisfied. So if you use these two conditions, you'll get the required value of m. Simple. So here a means the coefficient of x square, that means 1 plus 2m. So take it, 1 plus 2m is greater than 0. So plus 1 goes right side, minus 1, and then dividing with 2 on both sides, you'll get m greater than minus 1 by 2. This is the first condition that must be satisfied. Next, if you take delta less than 0, that means what? B square minus 4ac must be less than 0. So b square minus 2 into 1 plus 3m whole square minus 4 into a is 1 plus 2m into c is 4 times 1 plus m less than 0. Minus 2 square is 4. 4 into 1 plus 3m whole square minus 4 into 4 is 16 into 1 plus 2m into 1 plus m less than 0. So here and here I have 4 multiples, so I can divide with 4 on both sides. So in that case, what happens? If I divide with 4 on both sides, so I'll get 1 plus 3m whole square minus 4 times the product of these two less than 0. So let us solve this inequality. Let us solve that inequality. So using a plus b whole square expansion, 1 plus 3m whole square is a square plus 2ab plus b square. And then minus 4 into, expanding these two, you will get 1 plus m plus 2m plus 2m square. Binomial into binomial. Now finally, wait a second, this is 9m square. Because a square plus 2ab plus b square is 9m square, okay? A small correction. Next, finally, 9m square minus 4 into 2m square. That means 9m square minus 8m square, you'll get m square. And then 6m, this is 3m, okay na? 6m minus 12m. 6m minus 12m is minus 6m. And then 1 minus 4 is minus 3 less than 0. So m square minus 6m minus 3 less than 0, which cannot be factorized, which cannot be, where the middle term cannot be splitted. Factorization is not possible. So using quadratic formula, let us find what are the two zeros of this polynomial m square minus 6m minus 3 using quadratic formula. So if you use quadratic formula, m is equal to minus b plus or minus root over b square minus 4 into a into c whole divided by 2a. So you'll get 6 plus or minus root over 36 plus 12, that means 48. And root 48 is 16 root 3. Root 48 is 16 root 3. Now common denominator, sorry, it is 4 root 3, not 16 root 3, 4 root 3. So common denominator 2 can be separated, you'll get 3 plus or minus 2 root 2. So therefore what is it? One 0 is 3 minus 2 root 2 and another 0 is 3 plus root 2. So let us, no need of writing that, let us directly go to the interval form. So I am erasing, dear students. So take the first root 3 minus root 2, the second root 3 plus root 2, and where does this minus 1 by 2 comes? Minus 1 by 2 is coming somewhere here, because 3 minus 2 root 2, what is the value of, 3 minus 2 root 3, what is the value of it approximately? Root 3 value is 1.732. So 2 times 1.732, what do you get it? 1.732 into 2, 4, 6, 14, 3.464. So 3 minus 3.464. This is 3 minus 3.464, whose value is minus 0.464. minus 0.464, whose value is minus 0.464, and this value is what, 3 plus 3.464, whose value is 6.464. The first condition, I just have erased it, m greater than minus 1 by 2. The first condition says that m value is greater than minus 1 by 2. The second condition says that m value is between these two roots because the symbol is less than, or else you can use wavy curve method also. Since the symbol is less than here, I will take the values between these two roots. So that means what? I cannot take this because equality sign is not there. So the interval which contains the double line is m belongs to this itself, minus 0.464 comma 6.464. So read the question again. Therefore m belongs to this interval. Now they are asking the number of integral values of m. They are asking us to take the integral values of m. So what are the integer values of m in this interval? Greater than minus 0.464 is 0. Next 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, up to 6. That's it. These are the integers present in this interval. So how many integral values? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. The answer is option D. Right? So total, the concept is very easy. You are supposed to take a greater than 0 and you should take delta less than 0. Solve these two inequalities, you'll get your answer. We'll go to the next question. Here is our next question. If 2 alpha is a root of this quadratic equation and then beta is a root of this quadratic equation, and then the real numbers a, b, c where a is positive, remember this, are such that, of course, beta is less than alpha, okay, then are such that beta is less than alpha, then a root gamma of this quadratic equation always satisfies which of the following conditions? So once again, they told 2 alpha is a root of this quadratic equation. So which means that in place of x I can substitute 2 alpha, correct? So substitute a into 2 alpha square plus b into 2 alpha plus c equal to 0. Call this as equation number 1. Next, beta is a root of this quadratic equation. So let us substitute beta here. A beta square minus 2b beta minus c equal to 0. And a, b, c are real numbers, okay, where a is positive, such that beta is less than alpha, okay. Then a root gamma of the third quadratic equation always satisfies. Remember, dear students, whenever these kind of questions are given, where various quadratic equations with various roots are given, let us take this person, the third person, because they are discussing about gamma. Let us take this quadratic expression as h of x, g of x, f of x, your wish. Okay, I'll take it as f of x. So let f of x is equal to ax square plus 4bx plus 2c. First you find out what is f of 2 alpha. No, f of alpha. Let us find out what is f of alpha. Find what is f of alpha. So a alpha square plus 4b alpha plus 2c. I have taken this as f of x and I have found f of alpha. Observe one thing from the first equation. What is 4b alpha plus 2c? No, we don't have it. Then we'll do one thing. I'll take 2 common first. So take 2 common, then you'll get 2b alpha plus c. Now from the first equation, what is 2b alpha plus c? From the first equation, 2b alpha plus c is equal to minus 4 alpha square a, correct? Minus 4 alpha square a or minus 4 a alpha square. So these two are like terms. What do you get it? You get minus 7a alpha square. Minus 7a alpha square. Now it is time to decide whether this is positive or negative. Minus 7 is negative, a is positive, and alpha square is positive. So negative into positive is always positive, correct? So therefore f of alpha is positive. Now let us find what is f of beta. So f of x is this, f of beta is a beta square plus 4b beta plus 2c. 4b beta plus 2c. So anyhow, a beta square plus, if you take 2 common, you get 2b beta plus c. And from the second equation, what is 2b beta plus c? From the second equation, what is 2b beta plus c? It is a beta square, correct? So this is a beta square. So therefore a beta square plus 2a beta square is 3a beta square. So f of beta is equal to 3a beta square. Positive into positive into positive, this is going to be positive. So observe that, dear students, f of beta is positive, whereas f of alpha is negative. Okay, now, so I got f of beta is positive and f of alpha is negative. Now let us locate these things on the graph. We will erase it. On the graph, on the number line, they told that beta is less than alpha. So beta comes here and alpha comes here. Now observe here, f of beta is positive. So the graph point is above the x-axis since f of beta is positive. Next, f of alpha is negative. So at alpha, the graph will be below the x-axis. So, and moreover, it is a quadratic polynomial. It is a quadratic expression. It must be continuous. So I have joined it like this. So that means you can, do you observe that there is a root? This is the graph of actually f of x. This is the graph of f of x. F of x has a root between beta and alpha, correct or not? F of x has a root because it is intersecting x-axis here. So who is this root according to the question? Then a root of gamma. So therefore this point is nothing but gamma. This is the root gamma, right? So from the graph it is very clear that beta is less than gamma and gamma is less than alpha. So which option is satisfied? Beta is less than gamma, which is less than alpha. Option D. Is it easy, dear students? It must be very easy. So we have covered around 10 questions which were given in JEE 2019, JEE Mains 2019 for the chapter quadratic equations in various shapes. So in the next video, we'll discuss about the questions given in JEE Mains 2020 for quadratic equations. So I hope that you have understood this. So please like the video, share it, subscribe it, and moreover refer your friends. Refer as many as possible. Let their channel grow. We'll continue in next video. Thank you.